Alright, hey everyone. So I made this blog a few days ago on Wednesday, July 31st. So everything in it, I'll explain. There's only been one game since then. But in this video, I'm going to be focusing on the women's, USA basketball team and reasonings for why I do feel like they're going to end up winning it all. And a lot of it's going to be due to Diana Taurasi, the long season player. She's been in the league since 2004. She went number 1 drafted that year in the WNBA. And, so that's been 20 years now, 20 seasons for her. And, one thing that really stood out to me is this ESPN article that they put out with her. It's titled, Diana Taurasi's role has changed, but Olympic gold still goal. But it's the very first sentence that they put in the article. It says, time has changed Diana Taurasi. And that word time, thinking about how, she's in her 20th season, 20th year, however you want to look at it. Time equates to 20, right? So I feel like time is going to be a significant word throughout this video. But just so you can have a heads up here, as the sentence says, at age 42, Taurasi will do whatever it is asked by her national team coach, Cheryl Reeve, to make her 6th gold. Currently, she has 5 gold wins in the USA Olympics basketball, tied with Sue Bird. And, if the USA team does win, this will be the team's 8th consecutive win overall. Currently, the US has won 9 times, but 2 were prior. The first one was back in 84, and then the following, and then they didn't win, and then since then they've been on a 7 gold medal streak. So they're going for their 8th, while Taurasi's going for her 6th. So interesting, because we know the word basketball equates to 68. And in regards, like how I have here, her going for her 6th gold, 13 is the 6th prime number, and we've seen a lot of 13 significant things going on throughout the Olympics this year so far. But, because we come from the flag of 13 stripes, and you think of the 13 colonies, and then all the 13 symbolism that you see on our dollar bill. So just knowing that 13 is the 6th prime, it makes me think that Taurasi is for sure going to get it. And also, another thing that I've been bringing up this year about Diana Taurasi is the fact that she's 42 years old right now. And Mercury was actually, they are my underdog team that I selected in the WNBA that I could see making it to the finals. And the reason I say that is because, of all the 42s with Brittany Griner and her wearing number 42, Diana Taurasi was the one to have greeted the one friend or one player, I guess, teammate that was there the day that Brittany Griner returned home from Russia on December 8th of 22. So Diana Taurasi was there to greet her, and so she was getting recognition for that. And I feel like, just all the symbolism amongst them. And then now Taurasi's 42 years old after Griner was detained for exactly 42 weeks, and war, equates to 42 and Russia and all that. But so even just taking the numerology of 42, that equates to 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. So Diana Taurasi, being that age, definitely stands out to me. Another thing, we know this Olympics this year is being held in Paris, France, and it shows that there's 206 nations in the Olympics this year. And also notice that the closing date will be August 11th. Same for the championship for the women's basketball. That's the date of the championship. And then just look at Diana Taurasi, her gematria. She carries the 118, like how you can write August 6th, the day before the month. And then she also has the 206, just like how there's 206 nations, in this Olympics. So, and speaking of this being held in Paris, France, The one thing I've always wondered, like, just seeing like how, Diana Taurasi entered the league, and she, her first handful of years, she was considered like the greatest women's basketball player, and she was given that title, the GOAT, and and she's even been given the title White Mamba from Kobe, because he's the Black Mamba, and so just all these like views of how fans and everyone has viewed her over the years, like she's like one of the best, and her name just happens to be Diana. And who is the most, famous Diana of all time, like worldwide known, is Princess Diana. So I've always been curious to know if there was parallels between the two of them, but I never really sat down to look at it. So I got a lot to share about it in this video. So looking at Princess Diana, notice she died in Paris, France, and that's very significant, because this is a very like historical moment for Diana Taurasi if she does get her 6 gold. Just thinking about that alone. Diana Taurasi, Princess Diana, she ends up making history in Paris where Princess Diana died. Something to not overlook for sure. And I do want to point out that Princess Diana died in 97, which, of August, in this month, August 31st, which will be almost at 27 years whenever August 31st rolls around. And just noticing that Paris equates to 27. And another thing that I wanted to point out, I'll go back talking about Princess Diana, but this was a little tweet, I guess, that the USA Basketball put out before, by the time I made this video, or made this blog, they were on 56 consecutive Olympic wins, right? Like for the USA women's basketball, they haven't lost at all. They're like on a 56-0 record. But now they're 57-0 because they just defeated Belgium the other day, and then today they're going to be playing Germany. So, but looking at the bracket and everything, whenever this was at 56 wins, all they needed was 5 more wins to win the whole championship and get their gold medal. That's what I want to point out. That's so important because if you add 5 to 56, that'll total 61 consecutive wins for the USA team if they win the championship. That'll be their 61st win, right? And what I want to point out about that is Diana Taurasi's birthday, which I don't have it in order here, but Diana Taurasi's birthday is June 11th. And from June 11th to the championship date, August 11th, is exactly 61 days. Royal family has the gematria of 61. Even Princess Diana, she was born in the year 1961. And when you look at Diana's death, you'll see that she was born on July 1st. She died on August 31st. So if you run the difference in that, she actually died exactly 61 days after her birthday. You see what I'm saying? Like all these 61s with Diana Taurasi from her birthday to the championship is 61 days. That's how many wins they will have if the USA team wins it all. And then especially with Princess Diana dying 61 days after her birthday. What an alignment if this all is to unfold this way, right? And another thing I want to point out, going back with the number 20, is the day that Princess Diana was born, July 1st, 1961, to the day that Diana Taurasi was born, June 11th of 82. I just wanted to point out that Princess Diana was 20 years old at the time of Taurasi being born, and even Diana has the gematria of 20. And, so I'm just seeing all this parallels between the two. and how right now just seems to be the perfect time, right? Because again, time equates to 20, but time also equates to 61. With all the 61s we just went over with, between, the different dates and Princess Diana dying 61 days after her birthday. But even just tying in the word gold, like as in gold medal, gold has the 20, like time and Diana. And even when you spell out the word 6, it equates to 20, like how Taurasi is going for her 6th gold. So definitely something here. And, I could be wrong about, the Mercury making it to the finals. Maybe this 42 age for Diana Taurasi is set for her to get her 6th gold instead. Because the only reason I was considering Mercury to be in the finals, or a possibility, is also because they are currently, as a team, Mercury is 3-2 in the WNBA finals. 3-2. So they could either become 4-2 or 3-3. And then just knowing the age of Taurasi and then all the 42s with Griner, like I would have imagined that had to be like set for them to go 4-2 together. But doesn't mean that's going to happen. But I mean, I've been noticing with Taurasi all year, right? Like something's going on with her, because even the date that the WNBA began this year on May 14th to Taurasi's upcoming birthday is exactly 28 days difference. And we're in the 28th WNBA season right now, just for another little info. And so just moving on, just wanted to point out again that, I guess I just wanted to show you guys in an article that she is in her 20th season. And, so she's getting a lot of recognition right now. If you just Google or search Diana Taurasi, she's getting a lot of, like this headline, Diana is the reason we are able to do this, or like how she's the leader of the team. She's the most seasoned. She's been here before many times, and again, I just wanted to take a clip from acrossthettimeline.com and show you that, yeah, she began in 2004 and now we're in 2024. And another 61. So again, this is like, I'm not ruling out the Mercury getting there. Like I felt like it could have been like Mercury Aces, or possibly if it was Mercury Liberty, that would be very difficult, because then you would be like, oh, is Mercury going to fall to 3-3 for New York, equating to 33? But that would be a really tough matchup if it came up to that. But if Mercury was not in it, I really could see it being a repeat of last year, Aces and Liberty. But anyways, back to the 61 number, I just want to point out that WNBA finals and finals both carry the 61 gematria. And getting towards the end here, but I just wanted to point out that there's 12 teams in the Paris Olympic basketball, the women's basketball this year. And also notice that it says the U.S. has won gold in the last 7 Summer Olympics and compiled a 73-3 record in the last 7. So they're talking about that, right? And again, at the time I had made this blog, they just need 5 more wins to win it all, and that would put them at 78 wins after winning the championship. And Summer Olympics does equate to 78, just as well as Jesuit equals 78, and I'll get more into that in a minute. But with there being 12 teams, I just wanted to point out too that for the USA team, Diana wears number 12, and 12 just being a time, or a number that we associate with time, right? Like 12 months in a year, there's 12 hours on the clock, just everything with 12. Like, it just seems like, wow, all this is really revolving around time for her. And also pointing out that Diana Taurasi had already confirmed that she's going to retire like she's going to retire before the next Olympics. So she's saying that this is going to be her last Olympics. She hasn't said she's going to retire from basketball fully yet, but I do imagine that would have to come either this year or for sure by next year, right? I mean, she is 42 years old. But so just knowing that this is for sure her last Olympics, I mean, she can go out with a bang, right? And another thing I wanted to throw in here is just to recognize that, the WNBA began and had their first championship in 1997, the same year that Princess Diana died. And actually, if you look at the date, the championship was held on August 30th in the U.S. in Houston. And, Princess Diana died in Paris, which there's a 7-hour difference there. Paris is 7 hours ahead of Houston. So, I mean, it was almost technically like the same day of the championship when you think about it. So just wanted to show the significance, I guess, with how the WNBA is, I mean, it's a women's league, right? And then we're talking about like one of the most influential and powerful women of all time, especially her death being such a tragedy for women and people all over the world. So, I mean, not because I'm talking like that with like talking about women's sports, women's basketball. And then I feel like I'm going to have to upload a public video later too about Kamala Harris and how she visited with Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks on MLK Day this year on January 15th. And then like before the South Carolina Gamecocks won the championship this year on the date 4-7 in the 42nd tournament. 4-7 being a big president government number. But anyways, that's another topic. I'm just pointing out that the women's leagues, women's basketball, women's sports, but definitely the women's basketball right now, just because of how grown and how much attention and media is surrounding the league right now and trying to make them, bigger than ever. And I just feel like it has a lot to do with our leaders and our women, especially our women leaders today. Anyways, and I also wanted just to point out that, the Houston Comets, of course, they won the first championship, but their coach, just his name stands out, right? Van Chancellor. Whenever, a chancellor, that word is often referred to different government officials. Speaking of like, Princess Diana and how she just died then within hours of that game. And then another thing I wanted to point out about him, the coach, is his birthday. Like he has the Jesuits' birthday, like because the Jesuits, September 27th is when they were formed. And so that was his birthday, and talking about Paris and the Olympics and how, the Society of Jesus, also known as the Jesuits, they were founded in Paris, France. Just thinking about how all this kind of goes full circle with each other. And lastly, the last thing I put in here is the MVP this year of the very first championship. It was Cynthia Cooper. And, speaking of Jesuits and the Jesuit order, she does have that birthday that I've always noticed on April 14th. You can write that 14/4, like Jesuit order equals 144. But Cynthia Cooper is currently 61 years old right now. So, just thinking about how big of a player Diana Taurasi is in this league, in the WNBA and women's basketball. I mean, she's known worldwide. She used to play in Russia, and I can't name everywhere she's played, but she's been all over the place. And for it to like wrap around, like for it to, if she does end up getting this 6th gold, I feel like it's just going to be, it's more than just historical for her getting her 6th, right? Like, us knowing and paying attention to these parallels with, with Princess Diana dying in Paris, and, in the year that the league was beginning in 1997, and then their coach having the Jesuit order's birthday, and, the Jesuits are from Paris. I feel like it's just so, it's just, I just don't understand how it's hard for people to understand how all of this is how it all works or is put together perfectly. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just had to get out this video just to show, it's all about the word time, really, with Diana. It being her 20th season, and the USA team could end up going 61-0 as their streak continues if they win it all. But anyways, I think I got my point across, so I will leave it there. All right, see ya.